Okay, guys, I'm going to have a kind of a little chat about trading in its real form. You see, I often say trading's easy, and I guess for me it is. I've done this best part of 20 years, and it is my living. Now, I see adverts all the time. Oh, quit your job in 90 days. Bugger me, does that wind me up. Why? Well, because one, you're giving your job up, which is your livelihood, but two, it's not technically true. You know, 90 days to learn how to trade fully and be a professional. Can you do your job in 90 days? If you're stacking shelves in Tesco's, yeah, okay, I can go with that. But you're not going to learn to be an architect and an accountant, solicitor, an air pilot, a doctor in 90 days. And if you're a good trader, that's the salary you're going to be on. So you've got to ask yourself, what is the realistic expectation? Now, personally, I think you need about a year to 2 years to learn how to trade properly. And why is that? It's not the charts. Let me quickly show you something. There's an oil chart, very simple chart. But there was a surge here and then a pullback. Now, for the guys in the squad, and you're very welcome to check this out. You see details down below. A little here. Kojak. But well done. You stop, break even, good play. Thought it was going up in 5-minute trade, and then it shot to 38 and pulled right back. Well, I did an analysis for him, which is in here. And I do it all the time, okay? And my analysis came to that this market is extended, okay, which is here. Now, when it's extended, it's not necessarily it's going to stop its motion. But what we'll find is that it's going to come into a pullback, even though this is a 15-minute chart. But it's known how to spot that inside a move that's running higher. Now, that's what I mean about learning the craft. You see, it's very easy for the gurus to say, follow my mechanical system. And all you've got to do is just press the button at the right time. It's not quite as simple as that, because the markets are not mechanical. They're run by human emotion, because it's humans that are doing the buying and selling as much as there is algorithms. Still got to be programmed by a human as to what they want. But also, markets can't move in a single direction indefinitely. They have to have pauses, and those pauses come from stops being hit, opposing positions, and profits taken. Okay? So you've got to be able to sort of read between the lines as well. Mechanical systems can't tell you to do that. So when I say how long does it take to learn how to trade, I can show you the basics in an afternoon. You know, I often do sort of one-to-ones with people, and I show them more in the hour or so that I spend with them than they spend trolling through God knows how many videos, because I put it into real world terms and I show them it in real time. Now, that's not to say I'm going to make somebody a trader, because that's only one element. You've got to be able to recognize where to put your levels. Your levels are key. If you haven't got your levels in, and I mean the correct levels, you're trading blind. Your indicators are all lagging. So even if you have something like an Ichimoku cloud, which tries to predict the future, it's still essentially lagging. So you've got to be able to interpret what the overall picture is from that. You know, an echo of the past for a vision of the future. So you've got to be able to understand the interpretations of an indicator, not what an indicator is telling you. Two different things. Okay. Then you've got to be able to look at market structure. Is it pulsing up because there's volume in the market, because it's news driven, or is it just natural buying and selling? You've got to be able to see all of this. And when you see people talk about sort of liquidity sweeps and sort of all the different imbalances, it's not quite as simple as it's made out. Is it a liquidity grab? Jury's out on that one. Normally, it's just a better trader using what they see against you. You see, power is not knowing something what somebody doesn't know. It's knowing what they do know. So if you can see a respected high or respected low, there's a high probability other people are seeing it as well. And they'll use that information against you, and that becomes your grabs, etc. Okay. So in essence, to the question that was asked, how long does it take to be a trader? I think the answer is how long's a piece of string. Can you do it in 6 months? Yeah, it's possible. But I would say it's a tall order. Can you do it in a year to 2 years? Definitely. Definitely. If you're willing to put the time in and the education, in 2 years' time, you could be a really good trader. Now, in the meantime, what you're doing is you're building up your account as well. Because the other side of it is where you trade small money into big money. It can be done to a degree. If you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, you'll go boom and bust all the time. And this is some of the other parts of learning to trade, because you automatically think that you just put loads of money on. No, if you trade relatively small to the size of the account, you'll trade for a long time and build your account up gradually. But if you zoom your account up into massive figures, you'll probably lose them as quick. So slow, steady growth will always trump sort of boom and bust every time. I kind of I put £200 into an account January, and that account is doing incredibly well because I build it up inside a Vanguard. Let me quickly show you that. I'll show you. Okay, pulled it up because I'm going to update it this morning. But in the last rolling year, it's gone from 83,600 to, well, whatever it is now, 116. Well, what? So what's that? How much is that in the last rolling year? What did I say that was? 83,625. So 116,965 minus 83,625. So in the last rolling year, I've put, well, 33 grand into this. So when I'm talking about my 30 grand salary, there you go. There it is there. But what are the instruments of what we're looking at? Now here, I track this. This is the small account that I was building up. Put 200 quid into a broker, build it up, draw the money out, build it up, draw the money out. And this was what we're building up from that initial 200 quid. Well, it's, 12, because the cash as well. So it's thick end of 12.5 grand. I don't think that's too bad. If I just put it down onto here, this is where it is. So I can just update that. Let me just shift that over. So the balance is 12,287.90. And the cash at the moment is 208. Okay. So as I'm trading up and drawing the surplus money out, you see I put it into little pots and one thing and another. There you are, just shy 12.5 grand. So I haven't got far to go to that 15,000. Do I expect anybody to be able to do this? Not kind of out the great gate, but you could certainly get halfway there if you just do steady steps. Just something for you to think about. And that was really just to sort of show you what can be done if you do it steady. Now, it's taken me, well, we're into June now, so thick end of 6 months to turn 200 into 12.5 grand. But one of the things with this industry is they expect you to turn that 200 into 12.5 grand in a week. That's why you fail, because you're trying to push the boat too hard. But if you just steady away, you probably find it's quite plain sailing. Something for you to think about. Catch you all in the next one.